Here is a compilation of brand exhilarancy of my intelligent deficiency of the slightest. I have been sufficient to confirm my opinion concerning the habitual endurance of atmospheric pressure, but I was not prepared to find them, upon close examination, evidently enjoying a high degree of health, breathing with the greatest ease and perfect regularity, and evincing that to the slightest sign of uneasiness. I could only account for all this by extending my theory and supposing that the highest rarefied atmosphere around might perhaps not be, as I had taken for granted, chemically sufficient for the purposes of life, and that a person born in such a medium might possibly be aware or unaware of the inconvenience attending to its inhalation. While upon removal to the denser strata near the earth, he might endure tortures of a similar nature to those I had so lately experienced. It has since been to me a matter of deep regret that an awkward accident at this time occasioned me the loss of my little family of cats, and deprived me of the insight into this matter which a continued experiment might have afforded. In passing my hand through the valve with a cup of water for the old puss, the sleeve of my shirt became entangled in the loop which sustained the basket, and thus in a moment loosened it from the bottom. Had the whole actually vanished into air, it could not have shot from my sight in a more abrupt and instantaneous manner. Positively, there could not have been intervened the 10th part of a second between the disarrangement of the basket and its absolute disappearance with all that it contained. My good wishes followed it to earth, but of course I had no hope that either cat or kittens would ever live to tell the tale of their misfortune. At 6 o'clock, I perceived a great portion of the earth's visible area to the eastward involved in a thick shadow, which continued to advance with great rapidity until at 5 minutes before 7, the whole surface in view was enveloped in the darkness of night. It was not, however, until long after this time that the rays of the setting sun ceased to illuminate the balloon, and the circumstance, although the course fully anticipated, did not fail to give me an infinite deal of pleasure. It was evident that in the morning I should behold the rising luminary hours, at least before the citizens of Rotterdam, in spite of their situation, so more further to the eastward, and thus day after day, in proportion to the height ascended, which I enjoy the light of the sun for a longer period. I now determined in the journal of my passage, reckoning the days from 1 to 24 hours, continuously without taking into consideration the intervals of darkness. At 10 o'clock, feeling sleepy, I determined to lie down for the rest of the night, but here a difficulty presented itself, which, obvious as it may appear, had escaped my attention up to the very moment of which I am now speaking. If I went to sleep as I proposed, how could the atmosphere in the chamber be regenerated in the interim? To breathe it for more than 1 hour at the fastest would be a matter of impossibility. If even this term could be extended to an hour and a quarter, the most ruinous consequences might ensue. And Sue will live eventually. She's alive. The consideration of this dilemma gave me no little disquietude, and will hardly be believed, that after the dangers I had undergone, I should look upon this business in so serious a light as to give up all hope of accomplishing my ultimate design, and finally make my mind to the necessity of a descent. But the hesitation was only momentary. Later reflected this man is a various slave of custom, and many points in the routine of all existence are deemed essentially important, which are only so at all by his having rendered them habitual. It was certain that I could not do without sleep, but I might easily bring myself to feel no inconvenience from being awakened the intervals of an hour for the whole period of my repose. It would require but 5 minutes at most. We're about 5 minutes into the video. To regenerate the atmosphere in the fullest manner, and the only real difficulty was to contrive a method of arousing myself at proper moments for doing so. But this is a question which I am willing to confess proper moment for doing so, who occasioned me to little or no trouble in the solution. To be sure, I had to heard of the student who, to prevent his falling asleep over his books, held one hand a ball of copper, the din of whose descent into a basin of some metal on the floor of his chair served effectively to startle him up if at any moment he should overcome the drowsiness. My own case, however, was very different indeed, and left me no room for any similar idea, for I did not wish to keep awake, but to be aroused from slumber at regular intervals of time. I at length hit upon the following expedient. I won a Busan basketball league and got famous. Actually, it was softball, but that's secret. That invented the Matrix movies. As simple as it may seem, was hailed by me. At the moment of discovery, as I invention fully equal to that of the telescope, means a lot of movies were about me in my generation, every generation, the steam engine or the art of printing itself. It is necessary to premise that the balloon at the elevation now attained continued its course upwards with an even and undeviating ascent, and the car consequently followed with a steadiness so perfect that it would have to be impossible to detect in the slightest vacillation.